All right, we live.
All right, let's get it.
All right, let's get it. All right, I got everybody tagged, so go check it out. Put it on your timeline.
This all week.
All right, we're good. Go check it out. Put it on your timeline. Yep. All right. Everybody good?
Yep. We're good. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right.
Yep.
People, thanks for tuning in. Manup Series, where we talk about topics that might hit you where you needed to hit. I know a lot of people have been tuning in lately. We appreciate the support. Also want to make sure all my viewers make sure you comment in the comment box. Let's be interactive. Let's talk. If you got any questions, make sure you put it into the comment box, and we will get you going and get you make sure you're also involved in the show. All right. Women too. We want the women also involved too. This is also a show for everybody. It ain't just for men, it's for women. So
right.
Women, if y'all out there, y'all got questions for us, make sure you tune in and comment. All right. Now we got one of my friends on the show. He's been doing a lot of big things with insurance in the area. Just opened up his second office. Congratulations to him. We would like to welcome James Mann to the show.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to join these gentlemen, and I definitely like the name Man Up. It reminds me of a young man named James Mann. James Soup Man.
How appropriate.
Definitely, but give us tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how you got into with insurance and how your journey started.
Journey. You want the insurance journey or the journey of growing up in the Toledo?
Give us a brief journey. Give us your journey. Yep.
My journey.
Yep.
Myself, born and raised Toledo, Ohio. Went to King, Robinson, Scott. Growing up, no one really knew my real name. Everybody just called me Soup. So I grew up as Soup. No one knew James Mann, right? Football was my passion. That was my release. Growing up was football. Being raised by a single grandparent, mother in and out of my life, and me and my sister, and father wasn't around, down south somewhere. So I had to kind of grow up fast, but my grandmother kept me out of a lot of trouble, and my friends who I appreciate, because that's a big issue that we always have growing up is, being around the wrong crowd and getting involved in the wrong things. And, I thank my friends, and, when I tell them all the time, I appreciate them because, the things that they were involved in kept me not involved in the wrong things, you know what I mean? So that was a blessing. So like I said, I went to Scott High School, graduated, went to Wilmington College for college, got a bachelor's degree in business. After I graduated, I had a job for at 6 months doing working for Hertz, then 6 months with Fifth Third, and then got into insurance in 2005, and I ain't looked back since. A lot of ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but sticking to it, it's paid off.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, you talk about peaks and valleys, uh, and that you have your business. So first, tell us what made you want to have your own business.
Well, what steered me towards having my own business was the fact that I had control. You know, um, I know me as a person. I'm not the smartest person or anything like that. But one thing that I always knew that I had was a work ethic, and when no one go outwork me, and that's one of the things that carried me to this day is my hard work. And so, working for someone per se, sometimes it limits your growth. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to get into somewhere, number one, I could get residual income, and number two, I could control my destiny. And so the opportunity came up, and at the time, the company that I had joined had the best opportunity for someone that's hungry and wanting to start their own business. And so, they showed me the plan, and then I just jumped on it, and they put a pip, they tried to stop me at one point, what I mean, where I resigned, and then I had to restart. After I resigned, I had to restart my business per se and regrow it as Man Insurance Group, the independent agency. Uh, but that's what I chose to do.
Mhm. Now, during that time, we have first got going, because I know a lot of people when they become entrepreneurs, they got the fears in the beginning. They think that they're not worth it. They think that they're not worthy of anything that comes their way. And me being in a multi-level marketing, I had the same fears. I didn't believe that business can work. I didn't think that uh, what I had was a generational mindset. All I knew was work, 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 work. Get a check, get a check, get a check, get a check. You know what I'm saying? And that was just what I was brought up. I brought up going to school, going to work, you retire, and then you live at that. But me being in my line of work, people retire, they die within a year. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I didn't want that life. I didn't want that life. I didn't want that life and not seeing my kids. So,
man.
because you miss out on a lot of things as they grow up. So was there any fears that took place when you first became, when you first made the decision to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I started so young, that was the benefit of getting in it as young as I did, because I didn't have no responsibilities. You know what I mean? So I was able to get in and bump my head and bump my head. And like you said, the generational thing, that's the key. That's the part, and that's what I'm doing it for. Because one thing I didn't have no one in front of me to show me how to do this, right? No one to show me how to run a business. No one in my family even graduated from college that was close to me, let alone run a business. So I got in it early when I was able to bump my head and learn, and continue to learn to this day. Uh, but as myself, I wouldn't say I had any fears, but I see where fears come in at with other individuals taking that chance, because you don't know when that next paycheck coming or how much that paycheck is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's all about survival. It's all about survival. If you start something, it's all about surviving. If you can survive, you got a great chance of making it. But understand you're gonna have those lows, but you can't give up. if you gotta go back to the drawing board, go back to the drawing board. But don't give up. Keep pushing. And so, whoever's listening and want to start that business, or you know, don't think that don't look for that instant gratification. You know, the instant gratification is just making that one sale, or just writing that business plan, or saving, getting your finance together to pursue whatever you're trying to pursue. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then do for the viewers, if y'all seeing this, if y'all have fears about joining the business, make sure you drop a one. Any type of business or any opportunity you have, drop a one if you truly got fears. I want y'all to start interacting with us.
Definitely.
I want to say something real quick, if it's okay, man. James, listen, what I really enjoyed about your story is that, like you said, there was nobody to really give you uh, support from your family. You not from the standpoint of somebody actually being on the course, taking the journey. You did it on your own, and so it was somewhere in your life where you was probably like, you know what, I stopped it the first time. And typically, any true business that's going to really thrive and grow, I think is going to have its ups and downs. And typically, in the beginning, like you said, you quit. You say, you know what, I can't do it. And for those that are listening, it's okay to quit as long as you get back in the race. It's not about how fast you get to where you want to be, but just as long as you run the course. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And so that's what I really appreciate about you, that even though you hit a low, you quit. And typically people do quit. And that's okay too. But when you found your mojo, you was like, you know what, I got it. I think I know exactly what it was the first time why I quit. And so I appreciate hearing that. And then also not having an actual, I don't know if you did or not, have a mentor per se. I don't know if you had a mentor or what, but like you pulled yourself up by the bootstraps. That's commendable.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, my grandmother raised me and she passed away when I was 18, right? So I had to put myself through college, you know, and that just showed my survival skills. That's what put me into the position where I gotta survive. I gotta make it up out of here, right? And so um that's having an attitude of not making excuses, man. I'm huge on not having excuses. Excuses shouldn't, if some comes about, man, it's on me, and and that's uh, a approach that I take, in my business today, with my employees. If something ain't going right, it's on me. It's my fault that it's not the way it should be, right? I make sure I'm accountable for my business, my company, their actions. Um, and so like that's something that's huge in running a business or trying to do anything in life is, save the excuses, man.
I agree with that one. Because it's a lot of, we kind of talked about it last week. Again, another story where you had many reasons to stop and blame, your situation, but putting yourself in a position to say, you know what, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Because your mom and dad not around, your grandmother raising you. I mean, that's every excuse in the book, bro. Every excuse in the book.
In the hood.
Yeah, exactly. So, real quick, I'm interested to hear what are some of the and I want to hear from everybody too, because we're all in business, right? What are some of the benefits you see from having your own business? What are some of the highlights to having your own business that you've experienced?
Well, the highlights is not having a cap on my income,
Mm,
having my time where I can make sure I'm there at my kids' games or practices, or whatever my wife have to support her. Um, so freedom.
yep.
Um, you know, so and those are some of the main highlights of it. I mean, you know, that but once again, those are what people see or what,
Right.
you know, it's a lot of work that been put in prior to that. You know, it was, you know, me having to file for bankruptcy. It was, you know, me still working at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, you know, me getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, those are things that people don't see,
Yeah.
you know, or all the issues that come, and, you know, I had to navigate, you know, different people emotions and things of that nature. I mean, it's, and, and people, you
Work.
know, work. Yeah. And then, you know, sometimes people want you to, you know, save the world for them. And like, you know, and so you got to deal with those type of things also. But the benefit is like your time that you can get when you want to get, and, you know, unlimited income potential.
I got a question, a follow-up question with that, man, James, because everybody on this call tonight, including Clarence, and Clarence, you got to talk, man, tonight. I want to hear what you have to say. We were talking a little bit at the house. Um, Everybody is in business with their wives on this call. Um, did your wife, did she jump on board with you? Is she supporting you from the back end? I know, listen, behind every strong man, a good man, I mean, a strong man is a strong woman, a strong wife. I don't know how it goes. I messed it all up, but I think it's without saying, everybody on this call. I was going to ask you about yourself to have support from your wife. Does she help you at all with the business, or is she
And
supporting you from the business?
yeah, so check this out. So my wife, man, so my wife is probably the number one and only person, you know, my best friend, but that I have grown to trust, right? Because growing up, I didn't have everyone was out of my life and left out of my life. You know what I mean? So, but my wife, man, she prayed for me every night, like on her knees. You feel me? So like just to have that right there, man, that she
Powerful.
don't have to support not nan thing I do, but when it comes to her getting on her knees and praying for me every night, I can't ask for more.
Yeah.
But she is licensed uh, assurance agent, but she don't do no work for. at one at one point, I had her resign from her job, and she works at Owens Corning. I had her resign. You know, she was having some bad times, bad days, and things of that nature. So I'm like, just resign. You could work for me, get licensed or whatever, whatnot. So she did that. And so she came and worked at the office. Brandon, I commend you, brother. Salute you.
Two hands.
You said,
Two hands.
that's my baby, though.
That was part of that hard. That was part of
Come on,
that
man,
hard work.
James. Hey, listen, James, behave, man.
Yeah, man. You do. Hey, put it in.
That's funny.
She your ultimate accountability partner, man.
Yes, sir.
I mean, she's on me every day when I wake up,
See?
during the day before I go to work.
Ooh,
And
that's
but
dope.
you know what though? I can truly say that she's made me better. You know what
Hey,
I'm saying?
that's
And that's what it's
that's
about.
what's up.
Yeah,
That's
she
perfect.
made me better, man, and she's broadened my horizons to thing. Self development. Like years before the business, man. I never thought about reading no books. Only thing I was reading was the stats off ESPN. You know what I'm saying? I never thought about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
can truly say, man, being around her with her mind and where she wants to go, she taking me with her, and because at first when we first started the business, bro, I wasn't even with it. You know what I'm saying? All I knew was the way to get extra money, you work overtime. You know what I'm saying? But
Wow.
it got to a point in
Killing
time,
yourself.
man, where I want to see my kids play. I didn't see my oldest son. I didn't see him play basketball, man, until maybe like he was like 5 or 6, and he was in the Y since he was like 3. You know what I mean? So it was time, like you said, man. The value of time really came into play. You know what I mean? I wanted time. And I seen the way she was grinding with the business. I seen the benefits, and I'm like, man, you know what? let me start listening to what you're doing. Let me take in what you're doing, man. And I can truly say, man, she did make me better, man. So
Yeah, that's good.
I give her that. I give her that one.
But
Yeah,
no,
I feel y'all, man. My wife, she pulled me honestly into the business. I wasn't even thinking about this business until, like, I would say, it just started all making sense now. Literally, like the quarantine. During the quarantine, something happened. Right, my wife caught on fire during the quarantine, and it kind of motivated. It's motivating me daily, right? Because she gave me a vision. Because for a minute, Brandon, no, I was working, man. I mean, I'm out here doing every app you can do. But then my wife said, "You getting sick? What you doing?" So, and then me and Brandon had a conversation, and he gave me, a way to plug in to the business and just work smarter. Because that's all we know is to grind, 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 grind. But what happens when you go down? You don't have anything else but your body. You know what I'm saying? So now being a part of this business, I'm working from my phone. I ain't leaving my kids. I get to spend more time with them, and I get to actually touch people's lives, man. When I give someone confidence, that's a great benefit for me. When I see a smile or I get a text to say, "Hey, man, this product, I feel so much better." That's it's more than the money. It's to see or to hear the good report. So yeah, my wife, I would say she's like an anchor in my life, literally, real talk. I'm like, I be all over the place sometimes, and she be like, "What you thinking about? I need you to do it this way." And sometimes, ego jump in like, "I'm the man. I don't need your help." No, that's why God gave her to you,
Right.
allow you two to come together. So my wife is my anchor, and she keep the things like the home anchor, and I'm more of like the structure. So
mhm.
when we in that perfect harmony, she like, "Baby, got another one." Boom. I'm like, "All right, hold up, wait, you smoking me today? Wait, let me go and talk to more people then. So yeah, that's what I think about having a strong woman in your life that helps you stay focused and help you stay balanced. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to know because at the end of the day, like you said, Brandon, the accountability is there. It's funny because I got my wife into the business and then she outran me. I'm up here crawling and she's sprinting past me and running circles around me. And it's almost as if we have it in our nature to go to work for somebody. It's just, it's almost like it's so deep in our core, man, that we in here want to work for somebody when we can work for ourselves, them the flexibility. Like you said, man, you have your own ceiling. You can make your own ceiling financially. Get some major projects done around the house. I start seeing things getting done. I'm like, this business is the truth. It's the truth. And so, James, when I hear you say that, hey man, your wife decided to matter of fact, you told her to resign. Most men I hear like, baby, don't start working. Please don't start working. But now it's like if you want to resign, you have that option. And it's a beautiful thing to have the option in a pandemic to say, hey, if you want to work, you can. If you don't want to work, don't have to. You can join me. We can do it together. That kind of stuff, it goes a long way, man. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
commend you for that.
yeah. Like I said, she did join me for a while, but yeah, she went back to work and today she just got she got a promotion. So congratulations to her.
Oh,
Yeah,
Um,
congratulations.
nice.
so that was
that's
dope.
good.
It's dope.
That's good,
Um,
man.
but like you were saying, it's in our core to work for someone. I mean, well, what were we brought over here to do?
Work for somebody.
You know what I mean? So that's our core, right? But at the same time, you know, us working for people, that's what have set us back so far.
That's
You know what
real.
I mean? Because not enough of us have businesses, right? We don't, us as a race, do not make enough income to make a difference per se. That's why it kind of boiled down to how can we be equal when the money is not equal? You understand what I'm saying? So like, that's like, I mean, you know, we have people that, you know, we give back. All of us, I know we all give back, right? And that's just us giving back. But like, and we were where we at, and look at some of the people that's, you know, millionaires, billionaires, and where's the nearest, you know, African American billionaire to the other races? Um, we're just so far behind financially, business savvy wise, and things of that nature that it's hard for us to catch up. Now, that takes me to another part of like, okay, so if we don't have businesses to pass down, right? Then what is our only next option to make sure that our families are taken care of?
Mm-hmm.
Life insurance, right?
Yep.
You know, if you don't have a business to pass down or anything like that, how can you create generational wealth or even start in that process? The only other best option would be life insurance. It ain't your 9 to 5.
Right.
That's what you're working. And if you don't have that business with equity to pass down, then all we're doing is creating more generational just workers instead of having someone, you know, and people say, you know, life insurance is important. It's not necessarily life insurance that's important. It's planning that's important.
Oh, there it is.
That's what's important, planning. So one thing we know, so if we knew that tomorrow, if we go play 3-3-3-3, we'll win $1 billion. Will we all play that tomorrow? Right?
Absolutely.
We all, yeah, why not, right? So because it's guaranteed, right? This is something that's guaranteed, right? That was guaranteed. If we go and play that, we win $1 billion. So one thing that's guaranteed in life is one day we gotta leave here. That's one thing in this life that's 100% tried and tested and true, that we will leave here one day. So how are you planning that exit, right? What is it that, how do you want your kids to be taken care of, or your kids? You know, it may miss your kids, you will prayerfully, but they gonna have kids. So when do we start that generational wealth?
Right.
You know, how do they get that head start? You know, we all done lost loved ones. We ain't get that head start. You know, even if it's 50,000 or 100,000, you know, what if we get that money? Okay, now we can do some advertising for our business. You know, now we can hire some staff. Now we can get the training that we need. You know what I mean? So that's how we got to start looking at things like that. And, you know, we go back to, you know, way back when life insurance started, you know, slave owners was getting insurance on us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so we have slowly trying to transition to start planning, but we're not planning as we should, because we rather go and spend that $100 or $200 on something that has no necessary value.
You know,
Great points. I mean, great points, because I think it goes back to what Chris said. We're so inundated with go to school, get good grades, come out of college, go to work. Never in there we thought about, you know, and I think some parents are starting to be more aware, but you know, financial literacy, and included in that is what you're talking about, you know, the planning piece. We're not even talking about that. So those are some things we gotta definitely incorporate, because a lot of people don't even, as I said before we got on, most people got insurance on their phones, but they don't have life insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? So we got to make sure that we put those things in place for our legacy. Because you hit it right on the head, man. It's a head start. We wonder why some people around us. I'm not trying to be specific to no ethnicity or nothing, man. But we understand at some point why some people are further ahead than us. And that's a huge reason. I've seen kids I went to college with, man, and they really weren't worried about graduation too much. I mean, they were gonna graduate, but they was cool. They were okay financially.
Yes, absolutely. And you make a great point when you say that, because that's the thing. Like, they got opportunity to make mistakes. We don't have that opportunity to make mistakes, and we can't take. And we're not taking them. We can't take them chances, right? Yep. You know, they could take chances after chances, leave job after job after job after job, because they got that behind them. Yeah. They got back.
And I ain't mad at them. No, but we need to get ours in order. You know
but you know how we changing that?
Yep. Go ahead.
It's all having a wife and raising our kids.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. That foundation of development of a 2-parent household and kids growing together, learning together, and getting that head start. I mean, I understand that, you know, we have, you know, it's a lot of single parent households, and a lot of parents do a great job. I mean, but at the same time, in that kid is something that they miss something when they don't have that man in that household or that woman in that household. Mm-hmm. That structure.
Yeah.
You know,
all right.
It was something that my dad, he was a pastor, man, God rest his soul, as I know he's in heaven, but he always tried to bring in financial literacy to the church. And it was like funeral after funeral after funeral, that they had to always do a scholarship to help bury their loved ones. I mean, they didn't even have the basic necessities to bury a loved one. And, you know, I think to bury a loved one nowadays is about $9,000 or $10,000. And we even had like the funeral homes around the city of Toledo come in and speak to the church. And it was so unfortunate, James, that everybody was rather going out buying cars and buying houses, because they were always, like you said, they were thinking about the here and now. And we all knew the inevitable was you going to die one day. And they still do what they did. It's almost like going to church as chicken, knowing good and well after a while, eating that every night, day in and day out. Even though it tastes good, it's going to plug up your arteries. And we have to get to that mindset that, you know, I don't mean to flip it, but somebody was telling me, I wish I could break it down, but they was talking about even the idea of getting out to vote. And they was talking about the breakdown of everybody in the, like in the country, how close they were to, you know, really getting a vote from the African-American population. Our priorities are different. They're in other places. They into buying tennis shoes. They into buying stuff that really has no relevance. The relevance is definitely life insurance. Relevance is definitely having a legacy. And like you said, I don't care if you're black, white, rich, poor, gay, straight, educated, or illiterate. I know one thing that's clear: you're gonna leave here, and are you gonna set your family up? Are you gonna just be more of a hindrance, or more, not a hindrance, but more of a burden to them when you go? And so what you're saying, man, is right up. I was reading a book called it's called How Money Works. I don't know if you can see it, but it says how money works, and it says stop being a sucker. And what it mean by being a sucker? You ever notice when you go to the bank, you leave a bank, they always give you a sucker. They always give you a sucker. And we need to know how money works. And some things they don't teach us in school. They just don't teach us how money works. They don't teach us, man. And financial literacy is everything, man. It's everything. Even us own our own business, that's teaching our kids something. Yeah. I hear little mama all the time, Robin Yatika's baby on there all the time. She up here selling the product. Y'all teaching them something. That stuff goes a long way, man. And so I really hear what you're saying because it needs to start now because we all are leaving here, especially with this COVID-19. There's no better time than now to talk about that message.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's huge.
So like, is there any like, because we talking about dying, right? So what about the living, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's listening is like, I have an idea, I got a business inside of me, you know what I'm saying, but I just don't have the financial, you know, platform to do it. I'm afraid. What would you say to somebody that's like, yo, I want to start a business, but I don't have nobody around me. What do I do to start this business? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Number
what would you say?
All right. So you was kind of breaking up there, but you were saying that what would I say to someone that's trying to start a business?
Yeah.
Number one, you gotta find what you're passionate about. What are your qualities? What's your reach? Um, so is it the is it what product are you trying to sell? Or service you're trying to sell. So number one, you got to figure out, you got to know you. Then you got to formulate a business plan on how to attack it. How are you going to get in? Are you going to have enough? See, one of the biggest issues that we have in starting a business is that we don't have the capital, and I know that's the fear for a lot of people also. But at the same time, that's what's huge. Like you know, having that capital to advertise or to push your product, or go those months, not even advertise, or just go those months where it's going to be extremely slow, you know. And when you're starting a business, it's tough to start that business that you're passionate about, but you working a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. So number one is you got to take a step back on, where you're at. In most cases, like, once you get to the point where you have, a family, you have to be able to, come to your wife or your wife come to your husband or whatever the case may be and say, you know, we need to take a step back because I need to put this amount of effort into this business that I feel that could be successful, but we can't live the same lifestyle that we've been living. You understand what I'm saying? So, you can't go and be like, okay, well, we could splurge, we could go out to eat, this party's happening and this is going on, and we have to stay here. No, now it's like, okay, let's retract this. Now, maybe we got to go to a 2 bedroom. Maybe we gotta, to cut back on rent. Maybe we need to, make sure we meal prepping and things of that nature. Have our budget together. Those are the things that needs to take place. When you're putting that energy into starting that business, especially like I said, when it's later on in your life.
And I was even gonna say too, man, surround yourself with people that got the same goals and ambitions, or even higher goals and ambitions of what you got. You can't hang around. You can't hang around. I mean, if you're trying to do better, you can't hang around the same people. I'm just keeping it real. You can't. You got to be around people that's that inspire you. That motivate you, and the same thing should go for them. To where you got that energy, to where you know what you want, and you see it. It's so much easier to achieve success when you see others near you doing the same thing, because they're going to give you whatever information they're doing, they're going to give right back to you. So I just think putting yourself around people I'm stuttering, people that you are inspired by is a big thing. I totally think that is. That makes being, getting in business, it makes it a little bit, you have more confidence and more motivation to be successful. So I think surround yourself with people is huge.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think in support of what you're saying, so surround yourself with people that have been successful at it. You know, because I think Derek Gant talked about that. You know, find out what they did, you know, and put your twist on it. There's nothing wrong with you know, doing it over, but put your flavor on it. You know what I'm saying? Think of James. You know, I mean, it's a lot of people selling insurance, but he got his flavor, right? And that's what people are. That's what people are gravitating towards. You know, they're gravitating towards James, and also he just happens to have an insurance business, but they are attracted to James, and now his name is on it. It says Man Insurance, okay, but when they walk in, they're buying him. You know what I'm saying? Even like in our business, that's us. It's us first, right? A lot of people are doing it, but you put your twist on it. So I think, in support of what Brandon was saying, you know, surround yourself with those people that have been successful at what you want to do, and then follow in their path, and then put your twist on it. Because a lot of times, you know, I think, you know, when people find out you're passionate about what you're doing, some of that support will come. You know, some people will find their way to you, but I think setting up those different, you know, like we talking about having a business to pass down those different assets, setting those things up to pour into your dream, I think are important.
I think another thing that we need to definitely keep in mind as we move forward as a African American community, especially for business owners, what you're doing is working. It's always the right idea to give back to somebody else.
Even like in our business,
To give tools and nuggets, to those that, like Clarence said, like, well, what if I'm trying to start a business and my finances ain't right, or I don't know how to write a business plan. Man, I don't have a lot of support at home, and you know, I have a lot of naysayers that are behind me saying I can't do it. Unfortunately, sometimes people that are against your dreams are your own family. And so how do you weather that? How do you get through when you have those haters and naysayers in your life to say, you know what, I'm gonna prevail and push through? Because at the end of the day, you know, who has your back better than you is nobody. But it is good to link up with somebody that can encourage you, that can push you forward, but can give you tools and nuggets that can help you jumpstart what you're trying to do, your ideologies. And it might not be exactly what they're doing, but it's the idea to say, man, how'd you do it? How did you overcome with all you were dealing with? You didn't have parents in the house, and you lost your grandmother at a young age, and nobody, you know, you're a first gen in your family. Like, how did you overcome it? So you want to make sure that you get with somebody that, or you want to make sure that you can also feed into somebody else's dreams and aspirations. Because, am I my brothers and sisters keeper? Yes, I am. I always say that, and because it goes a long way. And so I believe each one reach one, each one teach one. And I think if you do that, man, I always bring God in it, but God sees your heart, man, and he'll help your business thrive and grow and develop. And so, yeah, man, give back. Once you get to that level of success, give back as well. Give back.
Yeah, Chris, you ain't bringing God into it. He already there, brother.
Already
Yeah,
right.
bro. I just know every time I just know every time I'm on this, I'm gonna be. Hey, I was talking to Clarence. I said I'm gonna preach, and
That's your flavor, man.
I don't need to, but I just know
You're right. That's it.
That's good, bro.
these are real topics, real issues that are plaguing us, and people like,
Yep.
man, I want to get to where you at. How do I get there? And y'all should get some. Hey, grab your pencil and paper out. Let's take some notes and let's talk. Let's chop it up. Let's go. Take them to lunch. Take them to get some coffee. Go. You know.
Yep.
Get them some skinny brew. You know. Some
Hey, right. And that's the part of that work we talking about.
Yeah.
That's a part of that work that we got to get accustomed to doing. Everything is gonna require work. It's nothing that you just snap your fingers and it pop up. So that brings me into my next question for you, James. You and all of us, we're in the business where we hear no all the time. Yeah. How do you deal with the no's, man?
Man, so you know, the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. It's all a numbers game, right? So it's all about getting in front of people. Because no, not everyone go like your flavor, right? Like y'all say, everyone ain't gonna like your flavor and it's not gonna gravitate to you. But if you stop with those people, you cannot move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to continue to get those no's so you can get to your next yes. And then it's gonna become more common that you get more yeses and then you get in referrals. And long as you're providing that service to the best of your ability, you have to live with that. And another thing, like when you, especially like when you're in sales, you know, and I tell this to anyone who's starting a business in sales, it's not going to sell to your mom and your dad or your closest friends. You got to go and sell to the people that don't know you. That's where, or just associates or whatever, whatnot. That's how you develop yourself. That's how you develop a good business, right? I have family members to this day that haven't got insurance from me. And I know I can save them money, but I mean, it's just that's how it is. And it ain't nothing that I approach people about or anything like that. I mean, you know, in my business, even coming through the ranks and things of that nature, like, I always tell, you know, insurance agents, I'm not in competition with you. I'm not trying to steal your business. I don't care if you take any of my business, because if one of my clients leave me, it's something that, once again, it's something that I done or that company have done that I have no control over. Or, if I got a client and, they could save money over here, I'm gonna say I'll review it for you, and please, like, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you insure it properly and that it's in your budget, right? So when you're out there, look for those opportunities outside your circle to sell to,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And
And
definitely,
then if things don't work out, it ain't like they're, like a lot of life companies around here, the multi-life companies that get all these agents and stuff like that, and sell people these dreams of, oh, you could come be an insurance agent and make all this money. So what they do is have you go and sell to your family, and knowing you can't make money to sustain, or got a high turnover ratio, and then they keeping your clients,
Wow.
which is your family. So
Good
definitely.
stuff.
And then with the nose, so I know it's easy to get discouraged with the nose, man. But for every 10 no's, you get one yes, And then at the same token, too, them no's will eventually turn into yes. And the way that they do it is by being flat out consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show up every day. You got to, be able to, people. I think more people will tend to trust you when they see you showing up every day. They see what you're doing. They're seeing the results. So I know a lot of people can get discouraged when they do hear no's, but at the same token, you just be more consistent. Be more consistent. Keep showing up. Like with your insurance, show what you're doing for family. Show how at the end of the day, you do have to have a backup plan. And you're doing that, and you're showing up, and you're doing it, and you get the people's trust. So eventually, through consistency, them no's are going to eventually turn into yeses. All you're doing is planting seeds. That's how I see no's.
That's good, man. That's good, Brandon. That's
Mhm.
good. Right.
mhm.
So that's my take on no's.
Yeah, I had a guy. He said he was the most consistent guy or persistent guy I ever met in my life. I always told him no. And he was trying to sell me some insurance. I don't know if it was insurance. I don't know what it was. He just kept telling me, I got you, I got you. And I kept saying, no, no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And one day, I mean, I'm talking about years. This man was so persistent. He still called me to this day. He changed his number, started calling me with a different number. At first, I wasn't answering it because he knew he had a good product. And that's the thing. When you know you have a good product, man,
Yeah, that's it too, though.
you listen. When you know you have a good
Yeah, man.
product, you sit here, man. I chase you.
You
I
knock
ain't
them
gonna
nose
chase you,
off.
man.
Yeah.
Knock the nose off. But you have a good product, you gonna go ahead and follow. You'll keep on going because you like, hey, listen, just take it. Then you be like, hey, I do it. I got a guy who used to be a barber. He said, man, I cut your hair for free. That's how he started. He cut people's hair for free. And then it was like, oh, he cold. And then after a while, his clientele was so big, he would never get a free haircut now. He would never give out one now. Like James knew what I'm talking about. But I mean, here he is now. But if you get no's all the time, and so you got to be creative. Right now, think about it. Right now, with our kids going back to school in the fall, possibly, we got to be creative with even virtual teaching. Like we have to be creative
Right.
with the way that we're going to approach, potential clients or people that we're going after. So we got to be creative even in our approach to change it up, to let people know, listen, this is our product and this is what we do. And no, like you said, shake the nose off, Rob.
Shake it off.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to do that. Shake it off. Just shake it. I used to get irritated, y'all. Like real talk. What you mean? No. Like if I like when once I get up from somebody, I'll be going off and crazy. But now if I get a no, okay, cool. Then I see them and they look like they about to fall over and die. I be like, look, bro, I got you. And I wait until everybody walk away, and then I start plugging. Like, hey, if you ain't got it, bro, we can work something out. Just because I know that they need what I have, right? You know, and so I see more people like, all right, Ned, I'm gonna get with you. If you don't get with me, eventually I'm just gonna come and put it in your hand. And then after you try it, then I'm gonna hit you up and be like, how you feel? Once you tell me, I'm like, see, I told you, bro. I got you. Let's go. So, you know what I'm saying? I find myself doing that more now. I just talked to a dude like yesterday. He was like, yeah, bro, he was dodging me. I caught him and he looked like he's going through it. Like, yeah, bro, what's going on? If he would have just told me like, hey, my money's really, really tight, I would have straight understood. And I would have been like, here, bro, just sample it, try it out. But as men, we don't want to always tell what's going on, and that's where the disconnect come in too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll be on it, bro. I know the products we got for sure. These greens, let me tell you, you need them. Why? We gotta take care of our gut health, our digestive system, because if we don't, we in trouble.
You talking about the greens, man. I'm talking about the collagen, man, Clarence.
Yeah, bone. I know you told me, lad.
You say your gut, my knees and my joints, man. I need my joints. I'm getting older.
I hear you.
But yeah,
That's
so
why I said I retired.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said that's why I told him. I said I retired from trying to shoot a basketball around, but then I'll be right back out there. And let's go. Then I'm have to take some collagen later. But
oh my gosh.
for real.
So
I ain't 17 no more.
We winding down here, fellas, man. We want to get some final words in. Really appreciate you, James, for hopping on tonight, man. Helping people understand the ups and downs of getting your business started and really and hopefully from the conversation today, everybody sees it's not for everybody, but if you have a desire to try it out, please try it. It never hurts to give it a whirl and see what happens, because at least you don't have to say I never gave it a try. But it's a lot of benefits out there, as we just explained, but it takes the work. But if you have a good product and you're confident and consistent in what you're doing, sky's the limit. Make sure you're planning, especially planning for your legacy, man. It's so important. You got to get that life insurance, living wills, all of that stuff. You got to have that stuff in place, especially in our community. And that's why we wanted to bring that up today, because those are some of the things that we don't do. We don't talk about it a lot, and it needs to happen. So that's my take on it. Clarence, you got something want to close out with?
I guess I would say, you know what I'm saying, just whatever it is that someone that's watching, whatever it is that you want to do, you know what I'm saying, like we was trying to figure out what it is that you do naturally what is it, that just rolls out of you, like you're not forcing it, but it's a natural thing. Once you pinpoint that area, then work towards that area. You know what I'm saying? Work hard. Don't give up. Stay consistent. Find that discipline and get in an environment where you can thrive and dream bigger. Even where if you're living in a situation where it's tight, still get around people that can have you dream, because if you don't dream, you'll never think beyond your current situation.
That's good, man. That's good.
Brandon.
Yeah, I think this show is big for our viewers, because we all are in business and there are a lot of peaks and valleys to business. But at the end of the day, in order to start a business, you got to believe and trust yourself and know that you can succeed from it. Like Rob and James was saying, it's about starting a legacy, man. It starts with us. We gotta break the chain, like we all we've known was the generational train of thought, knowing, you work, get a check and you retire and that's it. But it's more to it. It's about having another residual form of income. It's about taking control of your time and not capping yourself. So I just want, I think this was a great show for us to have. James, I appreciate you being on with us. I appreciate you giving us your intelligence so the people can hear it, because you're doing an awesome job. Telling insurance is a big thing. We gotta have it. We can no longer have a reset button. We can't just leave our have our kids to where they got to figure out what they want to do with us when we live. We got to be able to establish something planned to where when we leave this earth, our kids are taken care of. So, and then teaching our kids this too. So
Absolutely.
awesome. So appreciate you being on the show, James.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys getting me out my comfort zone and talking on this here site, this Facebook Live. I'm not used to it. I have social anxiety, so speaking in front of people and things, but I done came to a point where I don't fear anything, but so this is just something that I have to get over and start learning to be comfortable with, speaking in a crowd and things of that nature. So, and then one thing that you was touching on, man, it's all about changing the cycle, man. We have to change the cycle. We cannot continue to go, like our parents or grandparents. We have to change the cycle, and I commend each and every one of you guys, because you guys are part of that changing the cycle, which is huge. And I commend you guys for that. I love you guys for that. And we just got to continue to bring on others and make men step up and be men. And like you guys, like y'all statement, man up. We all has to man up. We all have a responsibility to man up, per se. So once again, thank you guys, and we got better today. Just by being here, we got better.
Sure.
For sure.
Love it. Chris?
I want to say something, man, James, and I want to say something as I was. You gave so many nuggets tonight, man. I was very happy to hear it, because even during the recession slash pandemic, man, there's ways of getting out, but it's forward thinking. And like you said, we said in a couple of shows before, we talked about the mind shift. It's a mind shift. But I want to give you guys some numbers real quick. And I'm going to read something to you. Financial illiteracy is the number one economic crisis in the world. Financial illiteracy is the number one economic crisis in the world. Financial illiteracy impacts almost 3/4 of the world. Here it is. Let me give you numbers. There are over 7.5 billion people in the world. That means over 5 billion people are financially illiterate. They have no idea where to put their money in, take it out of, what to invest in. And it says financial illiteracy is the lack of education about money and finance, especially personal finance. It enables governments and corporations driven to meet the demands of stakeholders and shareholders to leverage the ignorance of citizens and customers for their own power and gain. So people know you don't have any literacy when you come to the car lots. They know you have no literacy when it's time to go purchase the house. They know you have no literacy when it's time to invest in your children's education. And so what we must do is educate. They say knowledge is power. And it says in the Bible, we perish for a lack of knowledge. And so what we need to do, because again, they don't teach us this in school. What we have to do is educate ourselves on the direction we want to take our family, the legacy we want to leave our family, and exactly what it is that you're trying to do as far as goals and objectives for your family. And so this show tonight, I wish we don't ever have enough time, James. But this one in particular, we don't have enough time because as African American society, and just as human beings in general, we do not know how to manage our money. Think about it. People get a stimulus check. What the first thing they do? They went out and bought bikes and stuff when they should have probably invested.
TVs.
And see, like stuff that just, video games and, it's almost like a kid in a candy store all over again. And so we have to educate ourselves and inform our children, even with these businesses, on how to manage money and how to, even when we come into some good money with our businesses, how to manage and how to do the right thing. And so again, man, James, thanks for joining us tonight, man. Very powerful show tonight. And I was just glad to be a part.
Hey, real quick, James, where can everybody find you and get information?
Go to my website. It's maninsurancegroup.com or Man Insurance. You could just search Man Insurance. Contact number at the agency is 419-255-0040. We'd love to review your insurance, for auto, home, life, or business. We just like servicing our community and helping people the best way we can.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much again. Hey, this is the Manup Series. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're on Instagram as well. Appreciate y'all for joining us this week. Very good information. And we'll be back again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See y'all later. Peace.
Man, have a good one. Take care. Thanks, James.
Thank you.